This is so hard for my brain to do.
I know, that's why it's fun.
To talk and do Legos? My brain, like, how are you doing this?
Hey guys, we're back. I'm John. My guest today, one of my favorite people. He's one of the first people I worked with here when I came to LA on his project, Hat Trick. We're going to talk about that. The hilarious Fahim Anwar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there he is.
So good to be here.
Okay, so I told you the set that I picked for you was because of the first joke I ever walked in on you telling.
Yeah, I was like, what joke? And you're like, oh, I'm going to save it.
Yeah, we're going to save it for the show.
I've been waiting for this.
So you could do the reveal. Lift it up.
This?
Do the reveal, yeah. The Fast and Furious Vin Diesel car.
What was the joke?
Look at the box.
Hold on.
I think it was the pandemic. The pandemic was like a Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, yeah.
In the end, it's all about family.
Yeah. It's in the special. It's in Hat Trick.
It's in Hat Trick. And one of my favorite, the thing about that is it's such an like you have to know the Fast and Furious
You have to know the
movie.
franchise. But the thing is, I think it's become such a parody of itself that even if you don't follow Fast and the Furious, you know that Dominic Toretto talks about family all the time.
Yeah.
Even if you've never seen any of the movies, you know that he loves family and like gold cross chains.
And that's what I love about the joke. It's that you could have been like, people aren't going to really get this. But you knew that was a pop culture joke that everybody was going to understand.
I will do jokes for 5 people, like, because it'll get enough laughs, and then, like, I'll go the extra tag mile for, like, 3 people. I had this one joke where I was talking about, like I don't want to do orgies or whatever, because I'd be afraid of, like, finishing first. And then, like, I'm getting lapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to rejoin the orgy, and then I finish first again. So, like, everyone else is still going, and I've, like, come twice. And then I'm like, how are you doing this? How are any of you doing this? And then one of the guys fucking says, like, I never saved anything for the fuck back, which is like a quote from Gattaca.
Oh God!
When he's
I wouldn't have got that.
I know. It was like for me and maybe one other guy who knows Gattaca, because like it's one of my favorite movies. But when I'm ruining Gattaca, but one of the genetically inferior brothers who doesn't like genome that shit, they're racing because he's always felt inferior. And finally, the inferior genetic brother wins. And he's like, how are you doing this? And he's like, I never saved anything for the swim back. For some reason, that just like...
It clicked with you.
Yeah, I've carried that with me the rest of my life, you know? And I'm like, oh, this will be good for this orgy joke.
So, you could start building yours. My set, we're gonna do classic, legendary cars. I'm going with Jurassic Park. It comes with Triceratops shit. But also...
Does it come with a little Lego glass of water so that when...
The dinosaur set does. This is the T-Rex scene. This is the Triceratops scene that just comes with the Triceratops pile of crap.
It comes with Lego Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and this is with his chest out. It's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. So Lego's come very far. But
just the sidebar, you know, I feel like, you know how every girl takes a picture at the LACMA lamps?
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is the human version of the LACMA. Like every dating profile... Every girl has a picture with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, every dating profile I run into, they're with, what's the guy's name? He plays Negan in Walking Dead. Dean.
Is he like the motorcycle guy?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He's the leather jacket, baseball bat, barbed wire. Interesting.
Yeah. Every girl has a picture with him. It is mind-blowing how they all found him. I'm wondering if he's running a service. Take a picture with me.
Maybe just had one day where it's like bang out all your cute pictures or all your dating profiles.
My favorite part of your set is not only does it come with a Vin Diesel Lego minifigure, it comes with the wrench that he beat the guy to death with.
I mean, you can't have the Lego set without that.
No, I thought that was great. I was like, if you're gonna do this, you go big.
Yeah.
You make sure. So where are you from originally? Are you from LA?
Seattle.
Seattle, okay. When did you get to LA?
2006? Yeah, 2006.
So was comedy the goal? What was your goal when you moved here?
Yeah, comedy was the goal. I mean, I had an engineering job. I was working at Boeing Aerospace.
Were you really?
Yeah, so that's why I landed in Long Beach. Because I got my degree and then I just applied to a bunch of jobs in Southern California. And then Long Beach, Boeing was the closest I could get to like Hollywood. And I was looking at Google Maps.
The closest
Yeah,
I
I
could
thought it
get.
was pretty close because you look at Google Maps, you don't realize traffic
I
exists.
mean, map-wise, it is.
Yeah, you're
I
like, oh, this
guess.
is a cinch. But I was taking the 710 trucking route at night. It would take me 45 minutes to get to Hollywood, and I would always crush a Red Bull before I had to drive back home.
Jesus.
So I didn't fall asleep behind the wheel and kill everybody.
That was thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
And so you get, at what point did you decide I need to stop this job? Like this job at Boeing is not doing it for me.
No, it was just like a very methodical means to an end, Like I had the day job and I wanted to get to a point where it became very obvious that the day job was holding me back, or like I have to leave now. I got to that point eventually. So, I mean, it was fine. It's not my calling or whatever, but it was a means to an end. It afforded me to get out here. I was able to.
So that was always the game plan. The game plan was keeping this job until I get to where I want to be.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is
because it got me out here. My parents were I'm not like a trust fund kid or something. Like I had to support myself to get out to LA. And then, I mean, no matter anybody in the arts or comedians, you have a daytime job anyways. So either you're going to be driving Uber. I mean, Uber wasn't even a thing when I came down, but like you're going to be a waiter. I just happen to have a career. That was my daytime job.
And what was that? Was there even a discussion with the family, or was it like, yeah, I'm going to do this for now? Or
they knew this was always the plan. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they thought that I would actually like carry.
Succeed?
Yeah. I don't think they thought I would succeed.
Yeah, no, I think that's what we've all done. The other thing is that like parents, especially like I have a Jewish background, they don't don't understand what you do.
What? Oh, like comedy?
In entertainment, like my parents did not understand what my job was, that I can make my own schedule. Because even at my last job at the record label, your schedule's all over the place. They didn't understand outside of a 9-to-5 career.
Yes, I learned that my dad only understands like sitting in a chair for 8 hours.
Yes.
Like going to like a break room, a water cooler. His brain can't fathom anything outside of that.
It's wild. Like I would call my mom at like 3 p.m. and she'd be like, "Wait, you're on lunch break now?" I'm like, "No. I could just call you whenever I want. That's how that works. I'm not in a classroom." Yeah. I'm not. It's very interesting how people outside of that space just don't understand.
This is a side note. This is so hard for my brain to do.
I know. That's why it's fun.
To talk and do Legos. My brain, like, how are you doing this?
That's why it's fun. I love it.
That's like singing and like playing at the same time.
That I can't do. I can play guitar. I can't sing regardless.
So you have like a much nerdier version of that skill?
Yeah, this is a much...
Because I'm trying to like tell my story and I'm like, So people are going to watch the video and just think that like I have brain damage or something. Like Fahim's been staring at the same... Can I just freestyle? Because I'm not going to be able to follow.
Do what you want. If you want it to look like a car, great.
I'm going Jackson Pollock on these Legos.
I kind of appreciate that. And then when you take it home, you could.
Because at least I'll be doing something with my hands instead of like trying to. It feels like I'm trying to take a test and you're fucking my shit up, asking me about my life. I'm like, shut up! I have to build Vin Diesel's car.
Well, I was doing this right in the beginning of the pandemic. And then right when the pandemic happened was right after I had conversations from a company who wanted to bring this on as like similar to Hot Ones. And I was like, for me, this is way easier than having to eat hot food.
Right. What if we did a hat on a hat? It's this and there's hot wings. Oof. You go, I don't know if we need that element, but it's Legos and hot wings.
You're a pitch genius.
Yeah, because it's something familiar for the suits. They go, we know what Hot Ones is. Oh, and you just add Legos? So it's better than Hot... Yes.
Yeah.
And they hand you bags of money.
What? What were we talking about yesterday? Oh, pitch it. Just like crazy pitches that we've heard. Have you ever been in a pitch meeting or pitched something that was just the most absurd thing ever?
That I've pitched
or that you've heard someone's pitched to you and like maybe it's a close friend and you have to just be like, oh yeah, that's great. I go with that.
No, but I think of bad pitches all the time just for like comedic purposes. I had this idea of like pitching Transformers where I'm like, okay, so there's like this computer bug going around and they're not able to transform. So they're stuck as cars the whole time. And they go, eventually they transform. No. They don't transform at all. So like Bumblebee is a car the whole time. They just stay cars. And it's almost like an allegory for people who are stuck in jobs they don't want, like they have to do Uber and stuff while they're on Earth. So people are getting in, it's Transformers, but they're Uber drivers because they have to like make a living and make money and stuff. So they're just cars the whole, and the exec keeps on saying like, and they'll transform. I'm like, no, they don't. They don't transform. They're just cars the whole time.
Cars.
And then like they're kind of like autonomous Ubers. Like Optimus Prime is like, how's your day going? You know. He's like, where you gotta get to?
They're just cars that don't transform.
Yeah. I've thought about doing music, and then so it's just kind of like a 2 hours long Uber ride with the Transformers. I think that's a good idea.
No, I mean, listen, that's one of my favorite games to play with my friends.
Just
pitching
bad
ideas.
pitches.
I've pitched rubber sidewalks in case you fall down, you bounce back up.
That's a good
Never get hurt.
Yeah.
The other one I pitched was to solve the homeless problem, babysitting service.
Okay.
My friends were not on board with that.
Yeah, I was thinking, every mattress store, like just let the homeless people at night sleep on because they're not being used and they're floor models anyway. Instead of just, they're encased in glass and no one gets to use them, just let them use the mattress stores at night. Am I the mayor?
That's kind of genius.
Did I just solve it?
Well, non-jokingly, I mean, I guess kind of jokingly, but I always thought the same thing whenever I would go on the Warner Brothers tour and they'd be like, these are perfectly good buildings that have nothing in them. And it's like, well.
Yeah, but they're like facades, you know what I mean? It looks like a house.
But you could build stuff in there. Come on, you like.
I always think that would be cool just to like live in the lot, low key, no one knows. Like go in for one audition and then you just happen to be there for 20 years. You know what I mean? And you pretend that you work on the lot. I always thought that'd be like a great concept for like a independent movie or something.
Like a Truman Show.
Yeah, just some guy who has been, puttering around the Warner Brothers lot and no one's caught on that he's actually been living there.
Well, they constantly find people in IKEA and Walmart doing
Oh, really?
That. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Walmart, not so much Walmart. I think Walmart was like a one-time prank, but IKEA, they find people all the time. And how are you gonna know if somebody? I guess if you have night security, but that place is huge. It's a nightmare, IKEA.
Yeah.
IKEA is the worst escape room on the planet. It's you could hide in there easily and not be caught for days. You go out when they're open, you go do your errands, or I don't know what errands you have when you live in IKEA.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I always thought was fascinating when I would read those stories. Like, yeah, it's very easy for someone to just live in an IKEA and not get caught.
Why not?
Yeah. So you get here, you're doing stand-up. What's the worst advice you received when you first started stand-up?
The worst advice. Man.
Because I feel like stand-up, at least when I started, everybody had advice for me. Everybody. The security guard.
Tell me some of your advice, and I want to see if I've gotten it.
The worst. Don't do bringer shows, which I'm like.
Don't do bringer shows?
Which I think is bad advice when you're a few years in. I think when you first start, you need to get on whatever shows. But the worst advice I got was do the one bringer show that people said to do was Andy Ingles' show. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
He was a booker in New York, and he basically ran a bringer show where it was 30 people, and if you bring 30 people, you get a free tape, but he'll always put you up last, obviously, because he wants the audience to stay. And he always opened the show with him doing 10 minutes, and he opened with the same 9/11 joke every single time.
Everyone knows you close at 9/11.
Exactly.
Take it from an expert.
Holocaust and 9/11 are closing jokes.
I do it in the middle, and I do it at the end. You don't open. You got to warm them up.
Yeah, it was
before
bad.
you blindside them.
Yeah, so that was easily the worst. That show was a nightmare. And then the other advice I got that I thought was pretty rough was if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. And I was like, no, you have to do stuff.
Yes. The whole standing around and thinking it'll come to you.
Yeah, that
is a fallacy.
Because there was a period where I was like, oh, well, I'll just do my 2 shows a night, and if an agent or somebody happens to be in the audience, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's not how that works in the real world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've gotten bad, I can't think of direct bad advice that I've gotten, but I mean, to piggyback off of what you're saying, you hear it a lot, and I understand the sentiment. They say, be undeniable and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is... That's good. Just get really good at your craft. But there is this extra element of all right, chop up clips. You have to meet the universe halfway. You can be really good, but then if you're really good and no one knows who you are, it's not the 70s where you just let the town figure out what to do with you. You know what I mean? When there's 50 people doing stand-up and they're like, who is this kid? And there's all this machinery behind you. It's be undeniable and figure out a way to get in front of people via digital. I mean, digital is the new... You don't exist if you're purely analog anymore.
Do you think that it's easier to be a comic now than it was when we didn't have social media and all of that? And which would you prefer? Coming up the way you came up, or coming up now where you post one clip, you could be the next big TikTok star?
I say now, just because no one's in control, no one's a gatekeeper anymore, Like, sure, it's frustrating when you've been playing a certain way your whole life, and then just the script changes, and like, oh, this is the way to do it now. But I think I also enjoy it too, because like I've been going full throttle digital maybe since the pandemic, and I've seen more happen in my career doing that than trying to play Hollywood ball.
Is that annoying?
It's very annoying, but it's also validating because I feel like I was being gaslit by Hollywood or something, because you feel like, oh, I have something to offer. I think I'm different than like comedic, because I'm Adam Egan always loved me, Paige over the Improv, Rita, like the Laugh Factory. Like I'm doing really well, like crushing in LA, but I'm not getting the Netflix things. I'm not getting the Comedy Central.
Yeah.
And like those are usually the benchmarks and hallmarks of like the validation of you as a comedian.
Where it used to be late night and you were doing
Well, I would do late night too, but like that became less relevant, in my era. It was kind of switching. So just like to be doing so well, all the data I'm getting from the crowds and the bookers and all like in the streets, I'm doing great. But the gatekeepers are like sandbagging me, or that's just not there for me. Like maybe because I'm not talking about being brown, or I'm just doing comedy that a white guy, I'm just doing observational stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not like the way they want me to be diverse. So those Hollywood opportunities weren't there for me. But me putting all my shit out digitally, like in the last 3-4 years, I've seen like this like tsunami, this awesome stuff happening with like I'm doing the road, I'm selling tickets and stuff, because like I think Hollywood underestimates that people just like funny. I think they're always trying to like Behrman Sachs or Goldman Sachs, like bean count and like who's the demo and just run all these analytics instead of like, is this person funny?
That's
like
what,
fuck the identity.
That's missing
is
from
this
everything.
Yes, but it's refreshing. That's why I am very, a proponent of digital, because you can find an audience. You don't need a tap dance for these people who don't get it.
And that's where it's also been fortunate for comedy, where somebody like Shane Gillis, who was quote unquote canceled from, like you can build your audience and just not be cancelable.
Yes,
comedy. It's very hard.
You can have your own fans.
Yeah,
and that's more powerful than anything. It's almost more beneficial to have less of your own fans than just a lot of superficial fans because you're on some sitcom. Because once you get canceled, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like if you have your own fans, you're good. That's just like a relationship you have with your fans. Do you put butts in seats? That's like the most power of anything.
Yeah, and it's also you're taking the power away from the people in charge, where they sort of got to pick the winners, and now you are like, no, I just got 5 million views on this. This could have been on your service that you didn't want from me.
Well, there was so much fuckery going on when Hollywood just controlled everything, because that was the only way you consumed anything. You would watch Comedy Central, there was no other way to get in front of people. But everyone has, like, you're on TV. If you have this, you're on TV.
Yeah.
Like, no one can tell you no anymore, really.
So what's something that you would change about the industry as it exists right now?
I think they're still stuck in the 90s a little bit. Like, they still do Montreal. Like, there's a Montreal Comedy Festival going on right now.
Yeah.
Which to me is comical at this point. Like, it's 2023. If you have to fly, if you're a suit here in LA or New York and you have to fly to fucking French Canada to get your finger on the pulse of what's going on in comedy. We're getting snaps from
We're getting snaps from Chris Riggins. Thanks. Shout out to Chris. He's on the boards tonight.
Bars, baby. All right?
Yeah.
If you have to go all the way to French Canada, you're bad at your job. Like, pull your phone out. Like, even before the phone, man, I've ranted on this so many times. Even if it were the early 2000s or the 90s, you call the Comedy Store up, you call an alt scene up. It doesn't have to be the store. You call the Improv. You can call the Laugh Factory. They're there every fucking night, Hey, who's good?
Yeah.
Thanks. You have a pen and a pad? Write it down? Great. But instead they want to go to summer camp.
Do you think it's a circle jerk to justify their jobs at this point? That's the way I'm looking at a lot of it.
Yeah, to me, it's just perplexing. Like, and then also I hated how they assessed everything off of one show once a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very unfortunate. It sucks to think that like you will be sized up based on one performance of your entire life. When stand-up comedy is like, when you're in it, it's like going to the gym. You're doing like 8 sets a week.
Yeah.
You should see who's killing it regularly. Not anyone can have a good set, but to be good regularly, like no one looks for that. It's odd.
That's the power of actually showing up to the clubs and watching someone more than once.
Yes, but they don't have time for that.
No,
they have reservations at Mastro's. You know.
So let's one more question about you, and then we'll go into the special. So what if you could change one thing about yourself? What would it be?
What would it be? This is good. That's a good question, man.
I'm always fascinated with that question because I hate myself in so many different ways. I always get curious because I look at other people and like if I'm comparing myself to other people, a lot of times I'm curious what they don't like about themselves, like what they compare to other people with other people.
I wish I was better at like networking, and not in a gross way, but like in an appropriate way. Because even sometimes, like, I'll have relationships and I'll have bridges with people, and I'm even too shy to, like, do something normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas some people have like, I'm almost jealous or inspired that, like, this person is able to take that swing, and that, like, makes my stomach turn or whatever.
That's one of my big ones also.
Yeah.
I'm not good at schmoozing, and I'm not good at bragging about things I've done.
Yes,
like
but there's a happy medium, and I think even if I were I'm getting better at it now. Yeah, there's a happy medium, though.
This place is good at getting you in the mix in terms of hanging out in the parking lot, talking to other people, and just the schmoozing. I've gotten better at it just from working here, and that's something I'll always appreciate from working here, just being better at learning how to connect with people, but I'm still terrible about actually, like, being a yes man. And
here's a piece of advice. Like,
let's hear it.
This is for young comics and just anybody who asks, because I would do this to do shows sometimes or whatever, like there's nothing wrong with the ask, because people don't even know that maybe you want that thing, or, you know, so the ask is okay, but I always give people an out. I'll say, hey, you know, when I was a young comic, I'd say, hey, I've heard about your show. I heard it's great from so-and-so. I'd love to do it sometime. I'm sure you're getting slammed. If not, no worries.
Yeah.
Give them the out, so that don't say, I want to do your show sometime. And now you have this cloud, this weirdness hanging over you and this other person, and they don't want to be in the same room with you anymore because they think that you like need this from them. But if you're like, hey, I just want to do it sometime, letting you know that. If not, I know you get slammed. It's very understanding, and you're on their radar. So I think that's the perfect way to
really
do
good
asks.
advice.
Yeah.
What's weird to me, and I'm gonna name drop him, the man Earl Skakel. He'll sometimes ask. He'll be scared to ask for like spots, or like if somebody cancels and he just happens to be here. Yeah, I don't want to bother her and just like ask to go up. I'm like, no. And Rick Ingraham, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's like you have to ask. And the worst case scenario is they say no, and you're right where you started.
Right. You lose nothing.
It's surprising how many people have been doing this for so long that are still like they feel like they're a bother to ask. I'm like, no. You're paid regular here. Look, you should see how many asks they get from the fist bumpers out here, where they're just standing there all night fist bumping.
That's a derogatory term, the fist bumpers.
That's what I call. That's what I call them.
Everyone knows what even if you don't work in comedy, you know what a fist bumper is.
That's what I call them. They just hang around by the
Fist
belly room
bumper.
sign and just wait to fist bump whoever. I must fist bump 100 people a night. I couldn't tell you their name.
You come home, you like Purell your knuckles.
Yeah. Oh, I wash my hands every 10 minutes here. So let's talk quickly about your special before we finish up. So we shot this. This was the first special I did when I was here, and it was my favorite kind of chaos, the run and gun chaos.
Oh my God, yeah.
We did maybe 6 or 7 or 8 shoots.
And then sometimes we'd have a great set, and then the audio's fucked. Because we're doing everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally in the back with the
There were 4
sound
of
gear.
us.
I'm like a tech guy.
There were 4 of us. It was crazy.
Because we had to figure out how to tap into the board, and then, you know, how to film if it looks good. So there was 2 weeks of just test footage and stuff. And then sometimes we're like, that's the one. And then it's all blown out audio. Yeah, so it was like a learning process because no one was doing that.
So what made you want? So just for people who haven't seen it yet, and go check it out right now. It's called Hat Trick. It's basically a hat
It's in the
trick.
link. It's in the description
It's in the
down below.
description
Yeah.
below. Smash that
Smash
subscribe
it.
button.
Always smash.
The hat trick at the Comedy Store is when you supposedly, like in theory, do the same set in all 3 rooms.
No, it
within the
doesn't.
same
No, I don't see it as that. I think it's just you performing in all the rooms. So you do. It doesn't have to be the same set in all the rooms.
Okay, my understanding was it's the same set. The purpose being, oh boy,
What?
I'm looking at
What
your
the
car. The purpose being you want to see what jokes work in each room.
You can treat it that way,
Yeah.
but I think just the act of performing in all 3 rooms here in the Comedy Store
Got it.
is called the hat trick.
So what made you want to do that for your special? Because that hadn't been done before, which is what
mind-boggling. Like
that was
'cause
my first idea when I got here. I'm like, why did we not shoot anything like this?
Yeah, because I came up with the idea and I go, this had to have been done. Has anyone done it? And then when I found out they hadn't, I'm like, oh, this is it then. I have to do this. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
The reason I did it, it kind of goes again to like that Hollywood thing, getting nowhere with traditional Hollywood, you know, like I'm like, okay, I got to do a special on my own now. And then I think I'm playing from behind. I've been doing comedy a long ass time. I've been doing it 21 years. And so there's this huge gap between where I am artistically and where I am awareness-wise.
Got it.
So I'm like, I need to bridge that gap. And it being on Showtime or HBO, or I need people to see it. I need no friction between the content and the people.
Yeah.
So I'm like YouTube, because that started to become a thing. You know, Schultz did his, Sam Morril, Norman, Joe List. I'm like, okay, YouTube's gonna be like, I didn't even try to, when I made it, I didn't even like try to sell it around town. I'm like, it's YouTube. So I knew I needed to do on YouTube. And then I've done a regular special before, like at it was at the Alex Theater.
Yeah.
Like a regular special. It's beautiful. There's a nice stage, like big theater. There's sweeping crane shots and shit. And I'm like, if I do that again, like who gives a fuck, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no character in that. I've already done it. That doesn't make it stand out, really. It could be anybody doing that special. And I'm thinking about ways to have the special stand out. And I go, okay, I'm a paid regular at the Comedy Store. That's already a level of separation. That's no small feat, you know? They don't let everyone be so I have access to this place. And then I just realized all the specials shot here, they always try to make it look like one of those they dress it up, they set dress it. So it doesn't even look like the place that we perform in and night out. And I thought it'd be really cool to just show the place kinetically for what it is. Just waitresses going through the rooms, like not blocking it out for 2 days, or I wanted to just like take the lens cap off and film what it feels like on a regular day of operation. And then to go through all the rooms. And so then I called Peter, and then he was down with the idea as well, because this would sort of be a bit of a test run for if they want to do future stuff.
Yeah, and that's what it was. This was not a money grab for us. It was really just, hey.
I told him, I'm not going to make any money.
I'm the new guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the goal for us was just like, I'm the new guy. Let's see what we can do here with just what we have in-house. Mm-hmm. And we had shout out to Jonathan Vogler. He was awesome.
He's great.
And what you taught me, so I was the new guy. So as the new guy here, you don't want to ruffle feathers. And every time I tried to do something, I was basically told, oh no, we can't do that. No, we don't have the capabilities. And in my brain, I'm like, yes, you do.
We do.
But I can't, as the new guy, I can't be the one ruffling feathers.
Sure.
So I would wait for you to come in and just be like, oh no, I'll buy a splitter. We'll take care of this ourselves. And before we know it, like we're doing everything that I was told we can't do. And that's what I loved about Fahim. He was actually technically savvy, where there are some other people here. There's some other people here where, like, basically, if I told them this can't be done, they would be like, oh, okay, so let's figure out a workaround. Where you were like, no, I know this can be done.
Yeah, like I can see the board.
Yeah.
I know what I need to buy off Amazon.
Yeah. So
like I have enough technical know-how.
It was definitely a good thing where once you broke down that barrier, after that, I was able to fight for everything we needed for every special after that. So it was just good that my first experience here was doing Hat Trick. And it's so fucking funny.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, really I think when you watch it, that's the other reason I'm proud of it, and I like that I did it this way, is because it feels very personal.
Yeah.
When you do a special sometimes in some theater, It's a little impersonal and cold sometimes, but I think you get the it's a love letter to the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
and I hope people realize that.
That's what that's yeah.
Because I don't think anyone other than a paid regular could do a special like that.
Well, I think the
Because
word is organic.
Organic, yeah.
That's what it was to me. It was like this felt like the Comedy Store, where every special, even the documentary that I saw here, didn't really feel Comedy Store-ish after I had gotten here because of all the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
So it was cool that you did that. All right, well, let's take a quick look at how far you got on.
Yo, I nailed it, dude.
Oh my God. Wow.
Can't you see Dominic Toretto just driving around in this? Look,
He doesn't even have legs.
Yeah, they got blown off.
Jesus. Okay.
he's like part of the car now.
Wow.
He's a transformer.
I've never seen this before.
Are they gonna do a crossover? Is it gonna?
No, if you saw the new Transformers movie, it's Transformers and G.I. Joe. Spoiler alert.
Damn it.
Where can people find you? Not on the Lego store.
Yeah. Let's see. Check out the special hat trick. So my YouTube is / Fahim Anwar, and then Instagram at Fahim Anwar. TikTok is Fahim Anwar Comedy. Fuck you, other Fahim Anwar. Is that it? I have a podcast called Fahim Anwar Dance Hour. I don't know. Follow me on all the stuff. My website, fahimanwar.com.
Smash the subscribe button.
Yeah,
guys.
just like anytime you see me smash any buttons. If you see me on the internet, just like start smashing.
Smash away.
Smash away.
Hulk smash. Thank you guys for checking it out. Follow, subscribe, do all that shit, and that's a wrap.
Subscribe to my channel, YouTube. I'm building it up. Come on.
Smash it.
Smash it. It's all about family, guys.